Hey guys, it's Kelly. I know some of you all were interested in what it's like to live with chronic illnesses video. So I'm gonna start the day by going to the pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions. Unfortunately, this is during the coronavirus outbreak, but because I need my medications, I have to risk going out in public to get them. So here we go. Okay, so I picked up my prescription, and right now I'm not taking my service dog with me anywhere where I'm gonna be out for like less than 20 minutes, just because I don't want to take the risk of her getting contaminated like on her fur or anything like that and then spreading it to me. But holy cow, my anxiety is like literally through the roof right now. I almost had a panic attack. This lady was standing like right behind me, and I'm like, 5 feet rule, please, woman, like back the fuck up. Totally on the verge of a panic attack. See, if it had Fly, I would have had her stand behind me. Another big thing about living with chronic illness is using the moments when you're feeling good to tackle chores. Ergo, let me show you my messy room. It kind of looks like this every day before I clean it. So right now, since I'm feeling okay, I mean, I'm a little nauseous, but I'm going to take some medicine, and then I'm going to clean my room, and then I'm going to show you guys, it's the day where I need to do my migraine injection medication. Also, it's the day where I need to put all my medications in their weekly cases. So I'll show you guys all that too. And I definitely have to have my room cleaned every day, because clean space, clear mind. It's just how I have to have it. Okay, so as you can see, I did get my room cleaned up, and I pulled out all the medications that I need to use to fill my little weekly organizer. These are all the medications I take on a daily basis. And then these are the medications I take as needed, and then my monthly injection for my chronic migraines. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I work and fill up my weekly meds, and then I'll show you kind of what I take in a day, as well as how the monthly injection is given for my chronic migraines. And there's Fly doing absolutely nothing, being the biggest bum ever. So these are the morning and evening meds I take on a daily basis, plus the inhaler for asthma, and then my emergency inhaler if needed. I have my daily little pod set up. I'm gonna go ahead and go medication by medication and fill them up. Okay, so now all of those are filled and ready to be put back into my pill container. And this is super simple, guys. So today is Thursday, so I'll leave that one out. Pop Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday, sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then put the cap back on. Chronic illness made easy, guys. Can't get any easier. Okay, so my migraine medication, the injection, has been sitting out for room temperature now for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the cap and turn off the safety lock and go ahead and give this. I don't know if I want to give it sitting down or over the edge. I think I'll do it over the edge. I was also debating doing it in my stomach because I think it'd be less painful, but I think it's just going to be painful either way. So I'm going to remove the cap and everything, and we'll go ahead and give it a go. And also, this is really painful, guys, but I'd rather do this once a month than have to take a pill, 2 pills every day. The bottom is now off. The safety is off. There's the needle warning. Oh, gosh, I hate this, guys. This is literally it. I hate this. All right. I'm gonna let you guys watch, and I'm gonna try not to curse. Okay, guys, here we go. Still hurts like a mofo, but you know, at least it's only 1 injection. Bad thing about that is it hurts when the needle goes in, and it hurts when the stuff is injected. So as a sharps, guys, I have to have a sharp container for it. For like a once a month thing, which is kind of silly, but you know. Here's my sharps container. It's really hard to get this freaking thing in here, but there we go. There's my sharps container.
for my injections. I'll dump that in there too. All right.
So another really crappy thing about having to deal with chronic illness and medications is that when I fill those little pods, I'm doing it a week ahead of time. So I tend to run out of medications. But some of my medications are controlled substances, and they don't let you fill it until I think you only have like a few days left. So when I like to get them filled like a week before it's due, they won't let me. So, and you can only get so many controlled substance medications at a time. They won't give you like a 90-day script fill like I normally like to do with my medications. So I'm not constantly running to the store to pick up prescriptions. But for some of my prescriptions, I have to do that. So I try to make sure that I'm limiting the amount of stress on myself by getting 90-day fills on my script, so I'm not having to do that. Now, that may seem like a lot of medications, because it is. But when you're as sick as I am, and when I mean sick, I mean having a lot of chronic illnesses, to maintain everything, that's what it takes to be on. And right now, I'm not on any medication that I don't necessarily have to not be on. So everything is necessary at this current point in time. So here's some things that really suck about having multiple chronic illnesses. Number one, it can take a long time to get diagnosed with a chronic illness. Because there are so many things that can be relating to symptoms you may be experiencing, doctors have to do a lot of testing to rule out other things before you can get diagnosed. Number two, you never know how you're going to wake up feeling every day. I think this is one of the hardest things for me, just because this is what keeps me really from being able to hold down a steady job. If I don't know how I'm going to wake up feeling, or which chronic illness is going to be bugging me the most that day, or maybe there's going to be multiple that are going to be more apparent that day, then I'm going to be unreliable as a worker. So that's one of the really more annoying things of having multiple chronic illnesses. Number three, having to go to hospitals when you're having chronic pain. Now, I've been to the ER dealing with pain from chronic illness, and the ER doctors just tell me, you need to follow up with your regular doctor tomorrow, and don't even treat my pain. Personally, I think this is very poor care on the doctor's side, just because if you have a patient that's in pain, that's crying, you need to treat their pain. Now, I'm not necessarily seeking, strong painkillers, but anything to help is nicer than nothing. And generally, their bedside manner is not very comforting or very nice. And a lot of people who have chronic illnesses, like I do, experience the same thing when they go to the ER when they're having pain from their chronic illnesses. Number four, chronic illness flares. I could probably go on and on about this, but the specific illness that has been causing me the most problem is irritable bowel syndrome. Now, when I'm talking about a flare-up of irritable bowel syndrome, I'm talking about reflux, nausea, abdominal pain, diarrhea or constipation. And for this specific chronic illness, I've really had to change my diet. I've had this illness since I was very, very young. And I'm talking about like pre-K. When I was a little kid, I would experience symptoms from this illness from stress. Stress does make this illness way, way worse. So as a person with PTSD, it's very, very affected. So with things like diet, when I used to be able to eat, fried foods, hamburgers, ice cream, things like that, I generally can't really eat anymore because they cause me to have really bad stomach cramping. And generally, I end up in the bathroom about 15 minutes later, not feeling the greatest. I can eat them if I want to, but I know what the side effect is going to be, me not feeling well. So generally, my diet is things more in their raw form instead of really processed foods. So generally I'll wake up and I eat like sliced turkey, and I'll have some grapes. I eat a lot of fruit. I really like soup, crackers, any kind of crackers like Goldfish, Ritz, or not Ritz, Goldfish, and like Cheez-Its. I really enjoy popsicles. Popsicles are great. Sometimes I'll drink Gatorade if I'm not drinking enough water. I try to drink as much water as possible because hydration is really good generally. Obviously for your whole body, but it's really good for your GI tract just to keep everything moving really, really smoothly. Sometimes I'll have ice cream. If I'm going out, sometimes I'll have a little of ice cream, but I like cereal. Dairy, I'm not lactose intolerant, but if I do eat a lot of dairy, I do notice that I don't feel great. So those are the kind of things that I eat on a daily basis. And if I'm in a flare, I can't really eat a lot of anything. I'm kind of in that stage right now, but I'm getting better. The doctors prescribed me basically like a lifetime script for something called Zofran, which is an anti-nausea medication. I have a ton of it now just because I'm coming out of a really bad IBS flare. And I've talked about it before, but when I was having this really bad IBS flare, when I was really nauseous, I also got diagnosed with influenza A, and I was also dealing with some really bad back pain, which I still haven't been diagnosed with anything with my back pain. I have to go see a physical therapist. So anyway, that's kind of the gist with flares. And I could also get flares with my chronic migraines, with my polycystic ovarian syndrome. I can get more cysts on my ovaries that burst, that cause pain. So there are a lot of things that can happen when you have multiple illnesses and flares. So another thing that comes with having chronic illnesses is you just have to deal with the pain. You literally have no other way to get through it. You just have to deal with it. It's something that I talked to my GI doctor about, and he's actually the best GI doctor I've ever had. I had my service dog with me, and on her service dog vest, there is a patch that says, "Not all disabilities are visible." And he made a comment that he's like, I know that people who deal with illnesses like this, like you can't see it, but you are in a lot of pain. And he's like, I understand that. And he says, I'm sorry that other people don't notice and don't see that. And that's like the most validation that I've ever gotten for my irritable bowel syndrome than I've gotten from any other doctor in my entire life. And I think one of the most important things is if you have multiple chronic illnesses like I do, is to build a great team of doctors around you. If you have multiple chronic illnesses, you deserve to build a team of doctors that are the best and are going to help you and validate the pain you're experiencing and validate what you are going through. You deserve nothing less than the best to treat you. And I've gone through multiple doctors before for my GI and for my neurologist. I've been through multiple doctors and for my OBGYN. So don't settle for anything but the best when you're dealing with multiple chronic illnesses, because you need a good team of doctors around you to help you. So back to dealing with the pain. He was just like, you just have to deal with the pain. Pain is just part of having chronic illnesses, and that sucks. And it sucks when you have depression and you're living with chronic illnesses and pain, because there's some days where you're like, I'd rather just not be alive and not have to deal with this pain, because that's how much it sucks. But at the same time, it's, you're fighting a battle and there are good days. And you just have to use those good days to your full advantage. And, life keeps happening. You have to remember all the good things you have in your life and just keep pressing forward. Keep moving forward. So, that's pretty much what it's like living with chronic illnesses. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but I can go more in depth, maybe in another video, and talk more in depth about the chronic illnesses that are specific to me. But for now, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.